Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tamara Russell Brown. I'm the chair of the Fitchburg Cultural Council, located in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. We're starting this meeting today, Thursday, December 17th at 4:31 p.m. A few housekeeping items. We are allowed guests to speak at the beginning of the meeting if you've emailed us and it pertains to the agenda. So Beth, if you have any comments, you can make them as soon as we're done with the announcements. Also, we are streaming live. This is public. It is being filmed. So that's just something to keep in mind. The Fitchburg Cultural Council is part of the Mass Cultural Council. We work to elevate our life in the cultural community all throughout the Commonwealth. Our mission is to expand access, improve education, promote diversity, and encourage excellence in the arts, humanities, and sciences. And we're a volunteer body that is put in place by, in this situation of being a city, by the mayor's office. So as volunteers, thank you all for your hard work on this body. So Beth, did you have any quick comments to put here at the beginning of the meeting?
Yeah.
Pertaining to the agenda?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I took a look at the agenda, but I'm hoping it's part of the, encompasses it, okay.
I can share the agenda.
Oh, great, thank you. Oh boy, okay.
If you're talking about your grants, I think it'll fit into the agenda.
Okay, thanks.
Just an inquiry. Yeah.
Yes, just an inquiry as to, I just want to confirm that my application was indeed received. My computer is kind of wanky and I got a lot of, a revolving hourglass action when I did apply. So I just wanted to confirm that. And I didn't know if somebody could confirm the submission for me, maybe not now, but at some point.
So after the grant application closed Monday night, we aren't allowed to see what was in there. Joe, did you see hers in there before it closed?
Beth, if you did it on Monday, I didn't see it because I was on Sunday the last time. I will see if I can get in while we're conducting the rest of the meeting and I'll let you know.
Awesome, Joe, thank you.
If it's there, but I don't think we have access to it until the panel book is ready for us.
Okay, and if
we lose the ability to see the grants at the same time that you lose the ability to apply for them. So.
Okay, so in the same way as if there was a glitch or something like that, there's no way to resubmit or figure out how to get it in there at this point. If there was.
We would have to talk to the Mass Cultural Council and see what their thoughts are on it. I mean, if there's a draft in there that you didn't get submitted correctly, but it was mostly complete, perhaps something can be done. It's really their call and what their rules are.
Okay, Jeff, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Beth, and thank you for joining us. So as Joe saw on Sunday, Joe, if you could let us know, how many drafts did you see there on Sunday?
Yeah, so on Sunday, I saw 34 submitted applications and 11 drafts. And so I didn't get time on Monday before the deadline to get in and check to see where we're at. But I'm suspecting we're not more than that. So if all the drafts were submitted, we're at about 42 applications, which is a little over 20 applications less than what we normally do. And the funds that were requested in total, I don't believe fully reached what we have to give right now. And but there were some grantees that capped their request at $1,000, misunderstanding that you can ask for more than $1,000. So I had reached out personally to them, and some had responded that they would inquire for more money. And so we may have more requests, more funds requested than we have funds to give again this year, but I think it's going to be pretty close.
Thank you. Cool. In conjunction with that, FSU through Matt has agreed to print our grant books again this year. So as soon as the panel book is ready, Matt's agreed to take care of getting that done for us, and we'll have them printed. And then maybe if anyone, I don't know if Jim or Joe would suggest maybe where we would put them or where we could all pick them up, or how should we arrange that this year? Suggestions?
Well,
Should they go to the mayor's office?
I don't have any suggestions in terms of a common area. It's difficult. We got no city hall, but I don't know if we have access to getting into the city hall to get, to pick something up like that up. I mean, I'm retired. I'll be volunteer to help get them around to people in Fitchburg if need be. So I'm willing to do that if we don't have a central location to have people pick them up.
Okay. If we can arrange a fixed time, the museum's closed, but nobody's there. So I'm just saying our crowd is very controlled. So we could have something in the lobby just and I could be at the desk or something, or Jim, if you wanted to sit there, we could let you in. And, but if we have scheduled times, we could probably arrange something at FAM.
Okay. All right.
That's great. Thank you so much, Jesse. So we can work that.
Thanks, Jesse.
And thanks for offering that and helping us get that taken care of. And so in line with that, once we get our books, we'll need to schedule roughly five meetings in January into February. And Audrey sent out a doodle poll for everyone to put in their dates. And I'm waiting to put in mine till you guys all put in yours. So if everyone could maybe before the new year, put in your available time slots. And then I'll try to over the new year, get it before January so that we all know our schedule for the next month, because I would know everybody's has a lot on their plates to schedule. So as soon as you can get your doodle polls in and everybody's in there, then I'll put mine in and we'll send an email with the dates for January. So thank you for that.
I was just gonna say we can, I have a summary of who has responded so far, and maybe from the most popular, we could choose one to choose the 5 meetings today.
I think we'll just do that through, we can do that through email after everyone's done, especially since Sean couldn't be here.
Okay.
So then I wanted to mention as well that we were on FATV. They had us on twice over the past week, which was excellent right before the grant closed. So hopefully we'll get on the radio some more next month. And Nate's been super helpful as well with us. So I just wanted to thank you, FATV, for all the support this year. Also, another quick note. Nope, I think I'm done with my notes. So thank you. So the next thing we have on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Audrey, is there a chance you could please share the screen so we could look at those?
Sure, we have a few meetings. Did you want to just do the one that you sent me, or do you want me to do like all of them, including the PR?
I wanted to ask Joe this question, actually. Joe, do we need to approve minutes from the subcommittee meetings?
Yeah.
And if we do, we have a lot more to look at.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so we have a lot more to look at. Sorry, guys. You're going to have to read on the screen. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Eileen.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
I've got it on here.
Go back to when she sent you the original invitation.
I have it on here.
Okay.
Can I mute you? All right, so just a reminder tonight, Matthew, that we have to take roll call on votes.
I motion to approve the minutes of the November 17th meeting.
So we have a motion on the table to approve the minutes from Eileen from November 17th. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion from Jim to second. All in favor, and we need to do roll call.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Oh, there are some typos.
Folks, for a roll call, Matt, you'll just need to call out the names and I will hear the responses.
Okay, hold on. Let me, I've got 3 windows open on my laptop here.
If you want, I can read off the names if you want to track them.
That would be wonderful. Hold on just a
All
minute.
right.
Okay.
You got it. All right. Jim?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Audrey?
Does it matter that there are typos?
We can fix
if there's significant, change the way you interpret the meeting minutes, we could make the changes. It's up to you.
I mean, if a typo is corrected, is that accepting it or not accepting it?
We can accept it with the changes as you noted if it's insignificant.
So if overall, do I say aye?
Let's say if it's a word
No.
wrong, if a word is spelled wrong, then we can make that change. We don't need to vote on the change in the minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
If the context of the statement in those minutes is completely changed to something different, then that would be a substantial change that we would all have to take another vote on.
Okay, cool. Then aye.
Okay, Matt?
Aye.
Eileen?
Aye.
Claudia?
Aye.
Scene?
Aye.
And Tamar?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
This is the subcommittee on November 23rd.
Tell me when to scroll down.
I like the idea about sharing, having artists share their items with us for promotion. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Is there any more, Audrey, to scroll down to?
Yep. You ready? Oh, not much.
That's great, Matt. You probably have a pretty good media contact list.
Yeah, it's all right.
Any motions to approve this?
I motion to approve these minutes.
Second.
We have a motion to approve from Audrey and from Jem to second. All in favor? Joe, could you help?
Roll call vote here. Yep. Jem?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Audrey?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Eileen?
Yes.
Claudia?
Yes.
Scene?
Abstain.
And Tamar?
Yes.
Thank you again, Joe.
You're welcome.
Last one.
December 7th.
Audrey, could you scroll? Thank you.
Any motions to accept or deny?
I make a motion that we accept these minutes.
Second.
So that was a motion from Jem to accept and a second from Casey, I believe. All in favor?
Aye. Oops.
Aye.
You have to do this.
Yep.
Jim, yes.
Thank you, Jim. Casey?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Audrey?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Eileen?
Aye.
Claudia?
Yes.
Scene?
Again, abstention. Thank you.
And Tamar.
Yes.
Thank you.
And could you just confirm that Jim made the motion and Casey seconded? Was that right?
I thought it was Jim made the motion and Eileen seconded. Is
Eileen,
that right?
okay. Okay. I couldn't see because I had my Word doc going on that one. So.
No problem. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, so we have the treasurer's report. This would be Jim.
Okay. Our local funds this month are $1,645.95. Our Mass Cultural Council funds are $6,841.92. Those Mass Cultural Council funds entail the encumbered funds that are rolled over to next year, and the funds that were returned by 3 grantees that weren't able to hold their events. The annual report, we really will be talking about this more in January. The first section of the annual report, which was a financial report on our fiscal year ending June 30th, was submitted by me. With the deadline was Monday, so I submitted it last week. So that part is done. The section 2, which will be and determine our allocation, I need to submit. The Mass Cultural Council hasn't stated when they want that due. I would think it's probably maybe the second week of January, because the budget is just being signed by the governor now, and they haven't had a chance to decide how they're going to go about the allocations. But section 2, when it's submitted, will then determine our allocation coming up for this year. And then to get the money, the rest of the sections of the annual report, which are completed by the co-chairs, needs to be done by March 1st. And at that time, after we've reviewed our grants, so we will know what our allocation is after section 2 is completed and submitted. And then when our annual report is submitted by March 1st, we will then receive the money to the city.
So section 2 was the part that you did that was due Monday.
Section 1 was that I've already done, which was the fiscal year, and the remainder of the year coming up to December 30th, that's 31st, will be submitted by me, and that will be part of section 2.
Does that, with section 2, does that have to do with the people I'm surveying now, seeing where their final reports are?
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Oh, good.
It's purely a financial report.
Okay.
About our expenditures over the course of the year.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Okay.
So section 2 due.
Pardon?
Section 2, which is the part that's due by the March 1st? This is all the stuff I guess I have to learn.
Well, I think they haven't decided when they want it yet, section 2. But the whole annual report, which is sections 1 through 9, is due by March 1st.
Okay.
Section 1 and 2 are completed by myself as the treasurer. And you should go into the toolkit. You can see what the other sections look like. They're very straightforward. But go into the toolkit and you'll see the completed section 1 and then the remainder sections 2 through 9 that still need to be done. And it's based, and the other sections are based upon our allocation meetings when we're deciding upon the awards of grants.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Anyone have any comments or questions for the moment?
And Matt, I will send you the dollar amounts on our this treasurer's report to you to include in the minutes. Okay.
So the next thing that we have is the grant coordinator and fundraising report, which is Eileen. Joe, really quick, did you have a comment about the grants as we go into the grant section?
Yes. So while we were going through the meeting minutes and such, I went on the Mass Culture Council website, and we have access to see there's a new section on there called under review, and there are 53 applications in there. So we're about 10 shy. So there were a lot of last minute submissions that came through. And Beth, unless you used a different person's name for your application, I don't see your application in there. And I didn't see the drafts that were remaining and the ones that are closed and the ones that were abandoned. I didn't see your application in there at all. So there may have been some technical issue with that. You should contact the Mass Cultural Council support phone number to see if they can resurrect it in some way for you.
Beth, what was the name of your application? Like what the project title was?
Fitchburg Roots.
I don't see it right now.
Beth, will you know how to reach out to the Mass Cultural Council? We can, if you could maybe email us, we can put you in touch with them.
Okay, perfect. I'll do
There's
that.
a project title called Roots to Community. If that's different, or I mean, if that's the correct one, then it was submitted, but that's the closest I can find.
Okay, thank you. No, I don't think that would be it, but that sounds interesting too.
Thank you, Joe. And so your report.
And actually, what I didn't say is the application totals that have been requested is $56,085. So it's over what our allocation is probably going to be. So I'm kind of relieved about that we have we have more money in requests than we do money to give. So,
awesome.
But it's a lot tighter of a space now, which is nice because that means we can more likely fully fund a lot of grant applications this year. So it'll be great.
Can I just ask a quick question about that, just from my own learning purposes? Does that mean when you reach the quota, does that mean that you're likely to get that, if not more, the next year because you prove there's enough of a demand? You know, for those funds.
So every year the council decides how it wants to disseminate its funds. Historically, we haven't looked at the more popular ones getting higher than our cap that we normally would do for any grants. There could be an exception here or there depending on situational things that arise during the course of the grant cycle. But for the most part, we try to fund as many applications or as many programs that we can, which is why we put the cap in place so that we can have more activities in the city of Fitchburg to support culture and the arts in the city.
But that ensures that you're going to get that kind of funding because, you know, the more applications, in other words, the better. And the more.
Oh, you're talking in general, like our allocation from the state.
Yes.
No, actually, as the economy of Fitchburg improves, the funding that is allocated to Fitchburg will drop, which is one of the reasons why we've started working towards doing our own fundraising in the last year. And we're looking to continue to do that in the future so that we can try to raise our own money to supplement what the state is probably going to take away from us as the economy of Fitchburg improves.
Catch-22, yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe.
All right, are we ready for Eileen's report?
Yes.
Ready?
Take it away, Eileen.
Okay, two parts to this. One, on Tuesday, I sent out 22 reminders to people who had received money but had not made reports on their grant. So far, it's been a little bit hectic because I haven't really got much in. I had 2 people disappeared, and in this time, I'm not surprised, from 2 different organizations because I'm sure that people are losing their jobs. So that just means I have to call the organization instead of the person who, and I'll do that next week. I'm still waiting for everything to come in. A couple people wrote in and said they had tendered their final report with all the paperwork and everything else. They've left it at the council, and it hasn't shown up. My guess is that in the time between Joe was our president and Leo was our president, and then going to Tamar, I think some things got lost in the works. So who has anybody been, what was the last time anybody checked out the box at City Hall, for our mailbox at City Hall?
I checked it maybe about a week ago, and there wasn't any final reports there.
Okay, well then maybe, you and I should talk offline about, I could, some of these people have said they had all their material and they could resend it. We just have to
But they said they mailed it to the mayor's office?
They said they mailed it or delivered it to the mayor's office.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay.
So I'm thinking, and the timelines they were giving me were like July and September. So I'm thinking that was in that transit time and things might have gotten lost. But we'll just have to, you and I can talk about this offline.
Sure.
Thank you guys for this work on this, actually.
Pardon?
Thank you so much for the work on this.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about, it's a good segue from Joe's last discussion. We've been talking about how we're going to raise money. And I'm kind of excited about that. And I want to talk through some of my ideas and the fruit of some of the research I've been doing, which has only been, there's a lot more research that can be done. But there are a number of ways that organizations like ours raise funds. Perhaps the most tried and true way is the annual appeal. And the only, and I think we should do an annual appeal, and I think we should introduce it in March of 2022. In between then, we need to build a better mailing list. Now we have mailing lists of people who do some of these programs. They have a little money. I mean, we're not looking for millionaires on this or anything like that, but they might be willing to give some money to us. In addition, I really think that people who come to our programs will be amazed to know where, how these programs come about. And so I would suggest that when we do get a list of programs for next year, let there be programs next year, we should take turns going to these things, bringing a card table and a sign and a chair, and offering just page-like, of what's going on, like a calendar. And if people will give us their name and address, we'll give them a calendar. And so we build our list that way over the time so that we can make our first appeal in March. Why March? Well, I think that by March or April, excuse my cat, she's a real photo bomber. People begin to understand what their tax return is going to be. So they have a little money. A lot of people like to go for the end of the year because they think people are generous then. People are generous, but they're so, they don't have any money left. But I think, we make our first one March 2022. Okay, that's annual appeal. Advertising. We have some excellent possibilities for advertising. So the first year we might do a page calendar. But the second year, we might do a full-blown calendar. And I can tell you that we can sell ads in that calendar. The other thing I'm excited about is the open studios. For a number of reasons, I think it would be in our best interest to at least have one weekend, maybe 2 weekends of open studios in Fitchburg. The idea is being that we're bringing a crowd to Fitchburg to see everything that's there. I'm quite certain we could get the churches to go along with us. They're big churches, and the sacristy is about this big and the church is about this big. That's been my experience with a couple of the churches in town. So they'd probably be interested in, helping us with that. And so we'd bring lots of people in town, then all the restaurants that hopefully will be opening will want to advertise in our program. The banks, of course, well, that's the next, I'll get to the banks next, but it's an opportunity for us to help Fitchburg and the merchants of Fitchburg. All right, banks and companies who have it in their bylaws to be part of the community. We can get small grants from these. It helps a lot, particularly with banks, if you can give them some advertising. So we are talking about advertising, but because we're adding to the economic development of Fitchburg, if Fitchburg's coming back, particularly after this COVID thing, which it breaks my heart to drive through town and see all the businesses that were starting to come alive, particularly restaurants that are going now. So we can be helping that. So that's another thing. And there are, you know, I can go to the library or any place and look, or just call them, but I can look up. They have online at the library, I asked them about this, directories for foundations and others that give money in the community. So, you know, I can handle that. But the thing I'm perhaps most excited about is the opportunity for some of these big state and federal and foundation grants that are going on now. Now, it used to be said that we were for art's sake. Well, it's very hard to get a grant for art's sake, I'll tell you that. But arts for, unfortunately, arts for political things, you can do that, you know, for some of the things, Black Lives Matter and that sort of thing, you know. There are organizations getting, and economic development. There are organizations that are coming up with ideas to use art, like we're going to do with our open space program, to use arts for economic development. So I think we need to think about how that goes. Now, one of the things I thought was interesting was a number of towns in Massachusetts have gotten these, what are they called? Let's see. Transformation development initiatives. And just for example, the town of Lynn got a $5,000 grant to pull together all the arts and educational organizations in the town of Lynn to determine how they can work better together. And you really need partnerships to get some of these big ideas and get some of these big grants going. And so I think that's a really exciting opportunity for us. For one thing, the city itself, its plan is to become a haven for the arts and for culture, and a destination for the arts and for culture. Now, I haven't a clue what we might ask for in that, but I know that if we got together with our brothers and sisters who have the same ideas that we have, you know, we'll be able to come up with some big things to go to that would change the city and work in with where the city's going already. So I'm excited about that. And I would like to look for some kind of grant. I suspect the $5,000 maybe pays for lunch for everybody who comes to it, and a moderator or I forget what they call them, but someone who helps people come up with ideas. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about. I wanted to give it to you all to think about too. If you have any other ideas, I plan to put in a full-fledged plan. I'm going to have a full-fledged plan of how we would do this by March. I know the next meetings are going to be taken up with voting on the different projects and that thing, but I would like to present a full-fledged plan. If any of you have any ideas, because you know this community better than I do. I've only been here for 3 years, and in those 3 years I worked in Worcester. So I'd love to hear from you. We don't have to do that now. You can send me your ideas online, but I'm quite excited about the possibilities that we have.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. And I think Fitchburg Open Studios 2021, whether virtual or in person, whatever the situation needs to be, is going to be a great opportunity for some advertising and interacting with all these businesses you're mentioning. So we definitely have that to look forward to next year. And we'll need to figure out scheduling for that in January and February. So that'll be on in the future. Thank you, Eileen. Does anyone have any brief comments? Joe?
Yeah, Eileen, that was a fantastic presentation. I loved all the homework you did on that. I really see a lot of promise in executing what you've done, or what you've put together. One thing in particular I wanted to bring up is that Transformation Development Initiative. The Cultural Council last year participated financially in support of the Activate Mill Street project, which was done through a Transformation Development Initiative grant that we worked with Fitchburg State University and their North of Maine group as well to put the entire project together. And I am certain that you'll be able to find opportunities to continue to work with them. In fact, when the time is right, you let me know. I can introduce you to Joe Ferguson, who works with the North of Maine at Fitchburg State, and Francisco Torres, who is our TDI fellow that's been assigned to Fitchburg. And the two of them are working really hard to bring some really incredible projects of art here in the city.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, good job.
That'll be great.
Thank you. Any other comments?
No, I just want to say nice job, Eileen. Very creative.
I'd like us also to keep in mind, if we could, the cultural district designation that we had been discussing in the past, which might help us to approve funds through granting organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sean. Any other comments for Eileen? Questions? Okay. This moves us to the PR committee report. Casey, do you have anything to report for us from the last meetings?
Let's see. So it looks like Audrey was able to wrap up the social media campaign for the end of our grant season as of the 14th. Thank you, Audrey, so much.
You're welcome.
We have an official PR calendar at this point. Tamer, I don't know if you want to talk about the radio or FATV proposal we have.
FATV is on the agenda next. The radio was awesome. They took me on twice, and then I asked for us if we could do this monthly, and he said, let's be in touch basically kind of after the new year. And what did we have to announce? And so I need to just push a little more because I would like to have a standing spot so we could get in with whatever is happening. Yes. Like promoting whoever, we can get to that in the calendar section, but I was basically hoping that we could have a schedule for who gets promoted each month based on the grants, who received grants, and that each time I get on, I could maybe cover, 2 individual grantees, as well as any like council news. So that's going to be in the works on my plate to get a standing spot with them if they'll let us have it.
Beautiful, thank you. And I believe Matt is wrapping up a digital request for publicity form, which we'll have available for artists. How is that going, Matt?
I created a Google form, which I tried to share with the council Gmail address. I don't know if you guys are able to see it. I got over what the fields that we would be filling in at our subcommittee meeting.
All right.
I don't know if anybody's been into the mailbox to see if it works.
Did you see it, Audrey? I probably missed it, but I'm terrible with Gmail.
I saw the email for it. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I can also pull it up right now if you guys want to, or we can postpone that for the subcommittee.
Casey. Casey, what do you think? Do you want to pull it up now, or do you want to hold?
I'd love to see it.
We'll have a quick look. And so the concept, everybody, that there would be so one of the things that everyone asked in the community is they want help with PR, basically getting their events to everybody. So as our job as a council, it makes sense that we could help them in this regard. And so, but the concept was that we would ask them to provide us with the information that they want given out to the public versus us digging for it and helping them. So making them do a piece of work to get it to us, and then we help them promote it. So Matt and Audrey, everyone had the idea that there would be like a form that they could fill out and send it to us, and then we could help them that way once we have all the who, what, when, where, and why. So this is what they were working on with a form, right? That's a quick wrap up of that.
A wonderful wrap up, Taylor. Very succinct.
Thanks.
Well, there it is.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but as Tamar said, it sort of lets them do some of the work explaining what their performance or exhibit or what have you is. But it would give us good fuel if we're doing, say, a monthly press release about upcoming events. This is helping organize thoughts into, the elevator speech of what's this going to be about.
Looks great to me.
It does look great.
Yes, thank you so much, Matt.
And I asked, because I don't think there's, maybe there is, but I'm not a Google expert either. I'm learning it, but if there was a photo or something that could accompany it, I'm not sure if there's a way to attach it to this form, but I asked if they could just email it to the FCC Gmail address, maybe with, you know, easily definable name. Again, I don't think we're going to be deluged with things. I think we'll be able to handle the volume of traffic this generates. But so my thinking would be as we grant, no pun intended, as we approve applications, you know, we could send this link to the applicants. I think that would make sense.
Oh, excellent. That's a perfect.
And I think, again, I haven't tried it. I think if you submit, it'll just trigger an email to the Gmail address.
You have to set it up. Well, actually, if it's just going to the regular Gmail, to the council email, I can easily set that up. Okay. But if you yourself wants to receive a notification, there's a setting that you go to and just mark that, and you'll get an email every time someone submits something as well.
Okay, good. So I tried to make it that the FCC Gmail account is an administrator on this form. So if you want to make any changes to it after you've used it a couple of times. So it's based on what I use at the university, credit where credit's due, but it's an originally created form completely, so it's very exciting.
Yeah,
I think it'll be helpful.
No, it's perfect. So this is something that we could, after the grantees were done with that cycle, we email them, or send them a letter. We could send them the link and they could actually send us whatever they want us to promote. That's the idea.
Yeah, I just recommend we do some beta testing. Maybe members of this group can try it out and see how it works, but I think it'll be helpful.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing, Audrey. Casey, any other items that you have?
That's all I have for today.
Okay. Thank you so much. Any comments, questions for the PR there? Otherwise, we'll move to the next one. Okay, so next on the agenda is FATV. So Nate gave us a little presentation in our subcommittee there for publicity about the FATV membership. The membership for an organization is $75, and it would allow us access to the studios to learn how to use the studio equipment, some training. I'm sure they would help us with whatever we needed. And the concept was, if from the agenda, from the minutes from the meeting there, you saw that we could potentially have a short spot where we could, on a regular basis, again, promote whatever is happening and give our news. And that could be part of the FATV platform. So I would like to put this out for a vote before the council. If having an FATV membership in 2021 would be something that the council is interested in doing for $75 with our house money. What's the term for house money?
Administrative funds.
Exactly. I think the term. Thank you, Joe.
Our local funds.
Our local
or our administrative fund.
Well, whatever they're called, I motion to do it because I think it's a great idea. It will simply underscore everything else we're doing.
So we have a motion on the table from Eileen to accept to have an FATV membership in 2021 for $75, and a second from Claudia. All in favor. Joe, can we do roll call, please?
Yes. Jim?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Audrey?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes. Sorry.
Eileen?
Yes.
Claudia?
Yes.
Scene?
Yes.
And Tamar?
Yes. Motion carries. All in favor. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Tamar, I have a question. Could you send me Nate's contact information so I could work? I will need to get the contact information for Nate in order to get worked out a payment from the city from our account.
Yes. Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. The next thing on the agenda is the membership rotations. So this would something that Audrey asked to have on the agenda. Audrey, could you talk to us about membership rotations?
Yeah. Give me a second. So as you guys know, each of us have 3-year terms. We can be at the end of our first 3-year term, we can ask to stay on and have another 3-year term. Jim and Claudia are on their second term as right now, but in September 2022, they will be unable to renew their the membership. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that they can reapply in like 3 years after that or something.
They just take a year off, and if they want to join the council back, they can request an appointment the following year.
Okay, so this membership rotation sheet was created a while ago, but I've updated it, looking up everyone's official term beginning date according to the city council appointment that we had and the expiration that they cited. So at some point, let's see, we are currently right here. As of September 2022, or well, October 2022, none of us, unless everyone or people want to renew their terms, none of us will be members of the council. Oh no, wait, actually Leona, she will have another 6 months. So that's why we have to prepare and start getting new members. In the past years, we got new members, or we aimed to get new members in March and September of the year. I think that's a good idea, but just wanted to bring that up with you guys so we can talk about if we like those appointment dates, in which, by the way, we cannot appoint anyone ourselves. We can only recommend to the mayor, and the mayor is the one that officially appoints, and he can appoint however he wants. They don't have to go through us, but we are working with the mayor to hopefully get appointments from people that are already involved in the community, in our council, attending our meetings, seeing what we're doing, to make sure that it's something that they want to do, so that new members are active members and we don't have the trickiness that we had over the summer of having too many council members that were inactive and being unable to meet quorum. So yeah.
So it's a good thing to keep in mind, and I think that was part of our PR push for next year, would be encouraging community members to get involved so we can grow. So I think in all of our outreach, that should be part of what we're asking for, is that people in the public visit us and get involved with us and volunteer to help. Joe, I'm so new to this role. Joe, Jim, those of you who've been here longer, does anyone have any comment on this?
I do, even though I'm new. May I comment?
Yes, you may. Thanks for
most companies in small towns have a kind of requirement with the people who work there that they serve on a nonprofit board. And I have found that you can write different company banks and accounting firms and other firms and say, you know, that we're looking for members, new members for our board. This works well for you in a couple of ways. You get, you know, you get really good members. Those are people who are going to be leaders on your board because it helps them in their work. It's also a way of guaranteeing you'll get some money from those companies that they're working for. So I would suggest that we might put together a list of companies I'll put together a letter for it if you like. But if you'd like, I can put together part of a list, but you guys know this world better than I do. So maybe we could look at doing something like that. it would get us a different kind of person. But my experience at being on other boards is that these people show up and they're good members.
Joe, Jim? Thank you, Eileen.
No, other than to echo what Audrey said before, that it does become the mayor's prerogative in terms of who to appoint, you know, to the council, you know, and at this point, you know, given the pandemic, we're trying to keep our membership.
Losing you,
Jim. We can't hear you all the time. Sorry, can't hear you. No, your volume must have been turned down.
Okay, sorry.
Perfect.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Sorry.
Yes, that's good.
No, other than that, you know, the next few months leading up to September, we need to talk about how in the manner in which we're going to go about in getting new members and how large do we want to get, so we don't run into a problem of having quorum. Right now with 11 members, it seems that we've been doing pretty well in getting a quorum for each of our meetings in the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Any comment?
Yeah, I would agree with that. 11 is.
Audrey, can we just have Joe next? Sorry.
Oh, I was just responding to Jim, but okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll double down on what Jim was saying. You know, it's definitely the mayor's responsibility and job, I guess, to assign members to the cultural council, and it's I don't know if Jim, you told me this or not, but I heard the mayor has a moratorium on new appointments for a while because of the pandemic.
Yes. Right.
Is that true? Okay. Yeah. And so that does sort of put us in a bit of a predicament, and it may be something that could be discussed with the mayor, in that we're trying to maintain the continuity of the council. And we just announced tonight that a year and a half from now, none of us will be here. And we need a continuous flow of new members twice a year so that we can constantly have the overlap to allow the members, the different positions, so the chair, the next chair, and the chair after that, that there's a co-chair or someone being groomed for that slot, as well as the other positions during those course of years of tenure that the folks on the council have. And so I think that it would be a strong recommendation of this council to discuss with the mayor about appointing some new folks in March and in September of this year, just so that we can have that continuity.
Are we allowed to recruit?
Yes.
We're allowed to promote, I feel like, right? Like kind of advertise.
We can advertise, we can recruit, you know, anybody that we feel as a council individually that, oh, I think this person would be great. Let's bring them to a meeting, meet the council, talk with them, learn more about what we do here, engage their interests. You know, one of the key things is engaging someone's interest is, well, can you be here on the third Tuesday of the month at 4:30 p.m. every month, and be available for 5 or 6 meetings over the course of the holidays so that we can go through grants. Those are the real key important items for a council member so that we can operate the council with a quorum on a regular basis and just have the general flow going. But we also want to assess as a council what are our needs in terms of skills and abilities. You know, I think this council is amazing. We've got quite a well-rounded group here with expertise in pretty much every area from what I can see. And so as some of us time out, we need to be looking as a council that those of us who are timing out, we've got a set of skills that need to be replaced. We should be recruiting for them now and letting the mayor know this is why we have picked these people. They've come to us, they've shown an interest, they have the skills, they have the drive and the initiative, and they want to be part of the council to really make a difference here in the city of Fitchburg. And we highly recommend them. And that's all we can do is recommend. But if we make a strong enough case for it, generally speaking, the mayor accepts those appointments on our behalf. And he has done that several times. Most of you, I think, were vetted through the council and recommended to the mayor. A couple of you came in directly from the mayor. So that would be my recommendation, is that we find a way to get these appointments going this year so that we don't run out of skills and experience over the course of time. It was a tough spot to be in about 4 years ago, because that happened.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
What do you think of the idea of recruiting from business?
Oh, recruiting for business is great. You know, if they've got the skills, they've got the desire and commitment to do good for the city of Fitchburg, they'll show up to meetings, they'll participate in events. I don't see any reason why they can't be part of it. A member of the council does need to either be a resident of Fitchburg or be connected to Fitchburg in some way. So if it's a local Fitchburg business and they're an employee, that certainly passes that qualification.
So really quick, Jim, I know you're closer to the mayor's office than I am. Could we do a call and we can?
You know, at some point, again, I think when we move closer to whenever this pandemic, you know, starts settling down and the vaccine is out by springtime, I think that's an appropriate time for us to have those conversations and to move forward with it.
Yeah,
so
I think
March, April would be a good time to do that, I would think.
I think it's a good idea to start getting people interested to potentially join, since like the most important part of being in the council is the next month or two. So they should see what we're doing. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, it's good to encourage everybody they can attend, you know, jump in on the meetings and get involved, at least watch from a distance. I think that's what Joe did with a number of us, which was really helpful. Yes. You know, come to it, see what we're doing.
Yep, and I would recommend doing that with the next round of meetings. You know, if you know somebody who's interested, bring them to the next meeting, because it takes time for the bureaucracy of our city to move. And so someone could come to a couple of meetings in the next month and express an interest. We can't review to vet them until the following month. And then we make the recommendation in that month. We send it to the mayor's office, and the mayor sometimes takes 2 to 3 months to decide on his appointments. And that's when he doesn't have a moratorium on appointing. So, you know, if we were to appoint somebody now, they may not, or recommend for appointment now, they may not even show up on a city council meeting for appointment for 3 months from now. So it's important that we don't want someone starting during the start of the grant season. It's a terrible experience. Having 4 of us have been through that, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody coming in.
I think it would be better though if we thought about some skills we could use. I mean, we're all in nonprofit in one way or another. It bothers me really that we don't have somebody from a local business on our board, particularly, are you from no, I mean a bigger business like a bank, you know, somebody who'd give us money. Sorry. Are you going to give us money? Will you give us $500?
No, I can't do that.
No. I'm really thinking about it from a money point of view, you know.
That's fair.
You know, also, you know, accounting, I'm thinking of accounting too, because Jim's 6 years are going to be up. I don't, you know, I'm okay at being co-treasurer, but if we're starting to get into grants and advertising and a whole bunch of different financial things, I really would feel better if we had someone from an accounting firm. And they're the very firms that are willing to have somebody come and be part of you. So before we go out, you know, talking about all our friends and everything, I really think we should think about that. A goal for one person from an accounting firm to be on this council.
Jim, your shoes are hard to fill.
Yeah.
It's true.
I would support that, Eileen.
Yeah, I would definitely support that. And, you know, the message isn't go out and find your friends and bring them on the council. It's, you know, find members of the community, people that you've worked with, that you've done projects with and what have you, and that you feel would be a good add to the council. I think that would be the appropriate approach.
Okay, are any of you friends with accountants?
I'd like to stop cutting up on it. So thank you, Audrey, for bringing this up. We can always bring this up, put this on the next agenda, because we're going to need to keep talking about this. We had on the agenda to talk about 2021 scheduling. However, I got the file to you late, so I didn't expect anyone had time to look at that. So we will put that on the agenda for the next meeting. And that's sort of like a very rough plan of how we could do month by month. And that includes PR, things that we should be doing. And I'm certain Joe and Jim and everybody else who's been here longer than I have know that there's other dates we probably need to hit in the year. So maybe if everyone could look at that document for the next meeting, we'll put it on the next agenda. I would like to make a motion. I would like to take a motion from the council to adjourn the meeting because it's 5:31. Can I have a motion?
Could I ask a question though? Tamar, just let me know when the books are done and distribution and how I can help out. And,
I will.
And I will reach out to Jesse if need be to do it by way of Fitchburg Art Museum. Can everyone get the access to the Fitchburg Art Museum within the next couple of weeks?
Yes.
Okay, and then we can work out a scheduled time that I could either deliver them or be there at the art museum so people could swing by and pick them up.
I also want to remind everyone to fill out the Doodle Poll for grant review dates. It is a whole lot easier to fill out on your smartphone if you have that ability. I apologize, there are a ton of time slots on there.
Joe just advised us to get as many dates as possible so we could, everybody had, you know, as much opportunity as possible to pick a date. So
all the time slots are half-hour increments. So it's 8 a.m., 8:30, 9, 9:30. So it's like a whole lot to choose from.
All right. Any other comments or things here at the end? I did want to wrap us up around 5:30.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn from Jim. Any seconds? Second from Eileen. All in favor? Joe?
I guess we'll do a roll call on this. Jim?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Audrey?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Eileen?
Yes.
Scene?
Yes.
And Tamar?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
It's unanimous. We are adjourning this Fitchburg Cultural Council open meeting of all volunteers, a body of the Massachusetts Cultural Council here in Fitchburg, Massachusetts at 5:33 p.m. on December 17th. Have a great week, everybody, and a good close.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.